You probably already know. Blueberries are one of those small foods that feel like a tiny treat. But do you ever wonder if a handful each morning is actually doing work for you? Picture this: your breakfast bowl, the light of the kitchen, and a small cluster of deep blueberries quietly doing a lot of the heavy lifting for your brain, your heart, and your day-to-day energy. That's what we're talking about today. How to make every single blueberry count as you move through your 60s and beyond. Right away, I want you to know I'm speaking directly to you. Think of me as a friendly guide who's been in the kitchen and the lab, helping older adults make small, science-backed choices that matter. I'll point out simple mistakes most people make, explain why they matter, and give you practical swaps you can use tomorrow. You'll hear references to research from places like Stanford and other universities to help you trust the why behind the advice, but all in plain language, so it feels useful, not technical. Before we dive in, tell me in the comments, how old are you? And what's your favorite way to eat blueberries? I read every comment, and I'll use what you say to make the next video more helpful. If you're over 60, mention that. If not, say your age and your main health goal. That helps guide which tips I spotlight next. Let's start with the big picture. Blueberries help protect and sharpen three things that matter most as you age: your memory, your blood sugar control, and your vision. I'll walk you through each of those, explain a common mistake people make, and give you a simple habit to lock in the benefits. All explain like we're talking over a cup of tea, not lecturing in a classroom. First, let's talk about your brain. Imagine your brain as a busy city that never sleeps. Over time, tiny sparks and smudges, oxidative stress and inflammation, build up, slowing traffic, muffling communication, and making memory work harder. Blueberries are loaded with pigments called anthocyanins. Think of them as tiny street sweepers and traffic directors. They help reduce those sparks and keep the pathways open between your brain cells. Why should you care? Because as you reach your 60s and beyond, even small improvements in how your brain handles stress and inflammation can translate into clearer thinking, better recall of names, and less of that "where did I put my glasses?" frustration. People often assume supplements are the only answer, or that diet changes are too late to matter. That's a misunderstanding. Whole foods like blueberries are not a miracle, but they are a reliable, low-effort tool you can use daily. Here's what's actually happening. Anthocyanins act like antioxidants that calm oxidative chemistry and support microcirculation, better blood flow to the brain. Some research from well-regarded nutrition labs shows regular blueberry intake supports memory and learning in older adults. In practical terms, a small handful of blueberries most days is a reasonable way to keep those compounds in your system. If you want a visual, imagine each berry as a tiny umbrella protecting a vulnerable neuron from a rain of free radicals. A common mistake is assuming that more is always better. Piling a dozen different superfoods into a smoothie and slamming it down right before bed isn't the same as consistent, simple habits. The real power is repetition. A modest portion of blueberries regularly is more useful than an occasional giant bowl. How to do this today? Add a small handful of fresh or unsweetened frozen blueberries to your oatmeal. Mix them into plain yogurt, or keep a small container by your chair for a mid-morning snack. If swallowing is an issue, cook them gently into a compote without added sugar, or mash them into warm porridge. The practical benefit you'll notice is subtle but real. A steadier mental sharpness and fewer tip-of-the-tongue moments. Next, let's look at blood sugar and energy. Many people think fruit must be bad because it contains sugar. That's a myth that trips up a lot of good intentions. Blueberries are relatively low on the glycemic scale, so they don't spike your blood sugar the way processed sweets do. They also contain fiber and polyphenols that slow digestion and help your body manage glucose more smoothly. Think of your digestive system like a slow-release thermostat. When you add blueberries, you're helping that thermostat avoid sudden surges. Studies in nutrition science suggest that regular consumption of berries supports better glucose handling, especially in older adults, whose insulin sensitivity can decline. That doesn't mean you can eat unlimited fruit without thinking, but it does mean a handful of blueberries is a smart replacement for a sugary snack. A frequent misstep is pairing fruit with other high glycemic items or drinking it as a very sweetened shake. For example, a fruit smoothie loaded with added syrups or sweetened yogurts can turn a healthy idea into a blood sugar roller coaster. Another misunderstanding is thinking frozen equals less nutritious. That's not true. Frozen blueberries retain a lot of their nutrients and can be a great, budget-friendly option. How to use this? Swap afternoon cookies for a small bowl of frozen blueberries with a few chopped nuts, or blend blueberries with plain plant-based milk and half a banana for a balanced smoothie. By making blueberries part of the routine, not an occasional dessert, you're tilting meals towards steady energy and better long-term glucose control. The payoff is greater stamina across the day and less fatigue after meals. Now, let's talk about your eyes. As you get older, tiny capillaries in the back of the eye become more fragile, and the structures that help with sharp, detailed vision can be harmed by light and oxidative stress. Blueberries bring antioxidants that support microcirculation and protect those delicate parts. Imagine your retina as a delicate film that needs gentle cleaning, not harsh scrubbing. Blueberries supply the gentle, continuous support. People sometimes assume only supplements or expensive eye drops help preserve vision. Diet has a meaningful role. Foods rich in anthocyanins and carotenoids, when paired with overall good nutrition, help the eye's resilience. There's research from eye health labs that points to diets rich in colorful fruits and vegetables supporting long-term visual function. If you want a simple mental picture, think of anthocyanins as tiny window panes that filter out some of the damaging glare. A typical mistake is thinking, "I'll worry about vision later." The better approach is to build small protective habits now. For example, adding a daily serving of blueberries and leafy greens together over weeks and months is more impactful than a one-off supplement. How to practice this? On days you read more, or plan longer outings where you'll be staring at a screen or bright sunlight, make blueberries part of that morning or midday meal. Pair them with vitamin C-rich foods like orange segments or bell peppers at other meals to support connective tissue and capillary health. The real-life benefit is less eye fatigue, steadier focus during reading or driving, and an overall feeling that your sight is holding steady. A quick reality check. If you're on medications like blood thinners or have specific medical conditions, check with your healthcare provider before making any major changes. That's a smart step, not a limitation, and it's something many older adults overlook. You're doing great so far. You've just seen how blueberries can support your memory, steady your blood sugar, and help your vision. These are real, usable advantages, and they come from small, consistent moves you can fold into breakfast, snacks, and quick meals. Keep that image of a handful of berries working quietly in the background of your day. In the next section, we'll continue in the same practical, no-nonsense style, covering how blueberries help your heart and your skin, then getting into the specific foods to avoid pairing with blueberries, the simple swaps that protect their power, and a few real-world recipes you can make without a lot of fuss. I'll stay with you step by step, so everything connects naturally to what you've just heard. Now, about your heart. This is the engine that keeps every other system running, and as the years go by, the wear and tear on that engine can add up quietly. Stiff arteries, plaque buildup, and low-grade inflammation are like rust slowly forming inside the pipes of your home. You don't always notice it right away, but it changes how well everything works. Blueberries step in here with a set of compounds that help maintain flexibility in those blood vessels and support smooth blood flow. Imagine each blood vessel as a garden hose. Over time, without care, that hose gets stiff, tiny cracks appear, and water pressure drops. The antioxidants in blueberries act like a gentle conditioner for those hoses, keeping them supple and resistant to damage. Some studies suggest that just a small daily portion of blueberries can lower certain risk factors for heart disease in older adults. The misunderstanding I hear often is that heart protection comes only from prescription medication or major diet overhauls. While those can be important for certain conditions, the truth is, small daily habits, like adding a handful of blueberries alongside foods rich in healthy fats, can be a steady protective measure. For example, blueberries with a sprinkle of chopped walnuts or almonds add plant-based omega-3s and vitamin E to the mix, which together work on keeping your heart's plumbing in top shape. One easy change to make today. Start your morning with a bowl of oatmeal topped with blueberries and walnuts. That's fiber to help lower cholesterol, antioxidants to calm inflammation, and healthy fats to protect your vessels. All in one simple meal you can prepare in minutes. The payoff is better circulation, a steadier heartbeat, and reduced strain on your cardiovascular system. Now, let's talk about your skin. Because your skin isn't just about looks, it's also your largest organ and one of your main defenses. Over time, sun exposure, pollution, and even stress can break down collagen, the protein that keeps your skin firm and smooth. Without enough collagen, skin becomes thinner, wrinkles deepen, and you may see more dryness or spots. Blueberries bring a combination of vitamin C, anthocyanins, and other plant compounds that support collagen production from the inside out. If you picture collagen as the scaffolding inside a building, blueberries are like the steady delivery of fresh materials to keep that scaffolding strong. By reducing oxidative damage and calming inflammation, they help your skin maintain elasticity and recover from daily wear. A mistake people often make is relying only on creams and serums. While good skincare products can help on the surface, without the right building blocks from your diet, you're just patching cracks without reinforcing the structure. Including blueberries regularly, especially with other vitamin C-rich foods, gives your skin a better chance to stay hydrated and even-toned. Try this. Add blueberries to a salad with leafy greens, orange slices, and a simple olive oil dressing. You'll be feeding your skin antioxidants, hydration, and healthy fats all at once. The long-term reward is not just a more youthful appearance, but also stronger skin that's better at defending against everyday environmental stress. Now, here's where we need to talk about something that surprises most people. Certain food combinations can actually reduce the benefits you get from blueberries. Let's start with dairy milk. Many people pour milk over blueberries in cereal or blend them into dairy-based smoothies without realizing that proteins in cow's milk can bind to blueberry antioxidants, making them less available for your body to use. If you think of antioxidants as helpful workers, it's like tying their hands before they can do their job. The fix is simple. If you love a creamy base, swap to unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or coconut milk. These alternatives don't interfere with antioxidant absorption and still give you that smooth texture. If you do want dairy, just space it out. Eat your blueberries a couple of hours before or after. That small timing change keeps their benefits intact. Another pairing to watch out for is cucumber. Yes, cucumber is refreshing and healthy in many ways, but it contains an enzyme that breaks down vitamin C. Since blueberries are a natural source of vitamin C, eating them together, especially in the same bite, can cut down how much your body actually gets. Think of it like turning down the volume on a song you were trying to enjoy. The easy solution is just to have them at different times of day. Blueberries in the morning, cucumber in your lunch salad. Problem solved. The third one is pineapple. Both blueberries and pineapple are acidic fruits. Eating them together can sometimes cause stomach discomfort, especially if your digestion is more sensitive. Too much acid at once is like pouring lemon juice on a paper cut. The reaction is sharper than you'd like. Give them space. Enjoy one, then wait an hour or so before the other. That way, your stomach can process each without irritation. All right, now that we've covered what to avoid, let's look at the partners that make blueberries even more powerful. First up, bananas. Bananas bring potassium, magnesium, and soluble fiber, nutrients that support your heart, nerves, and steady energy. When you pair them with blueberries, you get a combination that supports blood sugar control and improves how your body absorbs antioxidants. A banana blueberry smoothie with plant-based milk is an easy, satisfying breakfast that fuels you for hours. Next, plain Greek yogurt, the unsweetened kind. It's rich in protein to help maintain muscle mass, and it carries probiotics that support your digestion. When you mix blueberries into Greek yogurt, you're combining antioxidants with beneficial bacteria, which can help reduce inflammation and improve nutrient absorption. Just make sure you're choosing plain yogurt, not the sweetened versions that sneak in extra sugar. Finally, walnuts. These are a powerhouse for brain and heart health thanks to their plant-based omega-3s. When you eat them with blueberries, you're creating a nutrient team that fights oxidative stress on multiple fronts. The anthocyanins from the berries and the healthy fats from the walnuts work together. Sprinkle chopped walnuts over blueberries in your oatmeal or yogurt, and you've got a snack or meal that's as functional as it is delicious. So how much should you aim for? A small handful, about 30 fresh or frozen berries a day, is a good target. Fresh is great when in season, but frozen is nearly as nutritious and often more affordable. Keep them in a spot you see often, so you're reminded to actually eat them instead of letting them sit. One last piece before we wrap up. Timing matters. If you eat blueberries with their best partners and avoid the few pairings that get in the way, you're going to see more of their benefits. And like I said earlier, it's not about loading up once in a while. It's about small, steady steps. Let's bring it all together. Blueberries can help keep your mind sharp, your blood sugar steady, your eyes clear, your heart strong, and your skin resilient. You now know which foods to skip pairing with them, which ones to embrace, and simple ways to work them into your day without fuss. So here's my question for you. What's one change you're willing to make starting today? Maybe it's swapping dairy milk for almond milk in your morning smoothie, or keeping a small bowl of frozen blueberries in your freezer for easy snacking. Share it in the comments. Your answer might inspire someone else watching. And if you found these tips useful, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into practical, science-backed ways to make every meal count. In the next video, we'll build on what you've learned here, so your nutrition choices keep stacking up into real results you can feel every day.